Alrighty, I think that's us rolling. Happy days, and voila. Alrighty, so it has been a while since I have posted on this channel, but today marks the 14th year that I have posted a video online. This day, 14 years ago, I experimented with YouTube, I would say, and began my journey posting video game videos. Back then it was based around a game called RuneScape, old school RuneScape if anyone knows it. I was doing all tutorials on that, etc, etc. But today I wanted to come on here and kind of share my story, I guess over the past 7 years, kind of briefly. But I would like to go into the emotions I felt, what stages in life I was at when I was 15 to where I am now being 22. So I'm going to take you guys through my journey of getting into the creative industry, which I more or less didn't really have any qualifications for. And currently I'm running a media production business called Russell's Reality, where I take people's visions and bring them to life through the use of profound content. So basically, going back to where I was, when I was 15 years old, I was very lost. I was struggling a lot with my mental health. Specifically, I had quite severe social anxiety, which then spiraled into quite a deep depression for a good few years. I didn't really know what this was at the time, and I was struggling a lot. Walking into school every single day, I just didn't want to be there. I didn't want to do anything. The feeling that I would describe myself back then was that I was quite apathetic, so I didn't really have any emotion towards anything. I was just kind of, I guess, numbing through all the feelings I was having. And I spent a lot of my time with a very heavy addiction to video games, so I would hermit in my room quite a lot. I stopped going out with friends, stopped going out with family, and just kind of stayed in my room and just played video games all day. And at that time, I was actually making quite a lot of content on YouTube. I had periods where I'd post every day during the summer. I had periods where I'd come straight home from school, get on the computer, start editing, and get a video out that night. So I was very lucky enough to kind of find a passion for that back then. But I was struggling with my emotions, so I didn't really realize that this was my passion. Obviously, I did kind of want to become a YouTuber back then. I wanted to take my content creation to another level. So I just kind of kept going down that route. And obviously, as I said, I know not everyone is, I guess, blessed enough to find their passion that early. But you could have something as simple as playing football, a sport, or doing some sort of art or anything that you find, a hobby that you find intriguing. You can always find ways to monetize that further down the line, but that isn't something you should focus on. I truly believe that you should have a hobby, especially if you're at a young age, and just delve deeper into it. Try and enjoy it and get what you can from that hobby and see how it makes you feel. And then obviously there's other things that you can do in life that make you feel good. Home into those too and just see what kind of aligns with you. When I was younger, I tried a whole bunch of different things. Like a way I describe of kind of finding your passion or your desired career path is to try a lot of different things. And for example, if you wanted to start a martial art, you would start trying out karate, Muay Thai, you know, jiu-jitsu, everything on that sort to try and find the one that I guess relates to you or you click with the most. And then you would kind of start going, I guess, deeper into that sport. But with that all being said, I ended up dropping out of school at the age of 16. During lower sixth, I was doing my A levels, and I just found it too stressful. I stopped doing YouTube, I stopped doing a lot of things, and found myself in this position where I was just truly and utterly lost. Again, I was still feeling apathetic, didn't really have emotion towards anything, which is kind of a scary position to be in. And I know a lot of young people and people of all ages can have this feeling too. But just know that it doesn't last forever. As people say, there is a light at the end of every tunnel. Just take this into consideration. I know where you're at right now, you may not see that light, but it's just the fact of turning it on and constantly walking towards it. Because if you take one step closer to your goals or to overcoming your mental health battles right now, trust me, in the long term you will overcome them and you'll look back and be like, wow, I didn't actually think I'd ever get out of that one. Because that's how I personally felt. I didn't really see a way out for a long time. And I ended up just having, as I said, drop out of school. Went to therapy, I'd say for about maybe a year or two. It took me, I'd say I went to 2 or 3 different kind of counsellors and ended up getting put on Prozac, fluoxetine for a little while. I was kind of scared of the symptoms and side effects of it, so the dosage they gave me, I just wanted to stay on that, even though it wasn't really helping too much. It was like kind of playing around with my, I guess, mental chemical balance, if that makes sense. And then a few years down the line, not a few years, I'd say the year after that, so I was probably around 16, 17 at this stage, I went into the Prince's Trust and took on their team program, which was a 12-week program that helps you build your confidence, it helps you build a CV and get work experience. And before I got into this, I'll never forget the day that I went in for the interview for this course. My parents were with me. I was so anxious that I couldn't make eye contact with the team leader. Didn't even speak for myself. I may have just said my name, but my parents spoke for me. And this is always something I reflect on because when those 12 weeks passed, I was just a completely different person. You know, I was volunteering, I was a part of the physical theatre at that time, and I'd got my first job at a trampoline park. Well, technically my second job. My first job was a paper round when I was like, I think 11, 12. That was some fun times, but my parents helped me with that one a little bit, I can't lie. I didn't last it up for long either. But yes, so sorry, I'm going off track. But after that, basically, I found myself in a much more confident position. Yet I was still a bit lost. I had an idea of wanting to get into media production, so I went to Tech, the Belfast Met, and studied film and TV. Only lasted there a year. You know, not everyone can learn the same way. Personally, for me, I struggle to sit down and listen to lectures and take advice that way. So I'm much more hands-on, and I found in tech for me they just didn't do enough practical work for me to actually learn. And don't get me wrong, I'd say you would do a decent amount of practical work, so it is good fun. But I was still struggling with my mental health. You know, I kind of took a step away from the therapy side of things and tried doing it myself, which is not a great idea for anyone who is doing that currently. Definitely speak out and definitely get into some form of counselling to help guide you through your process of, you know, overcoming your anxiety or depression. Highly recommend doing that because if you do it on your own, it can be a very scary and lonely time, and sometimes you may not realize the amount of help that is around you. So yes, definitely look into a counsellor if you are struggling at the minute, or feel free to send me a message and I can definitely give you guys some advice of how I overcame my issues and struggles in the past. But with that being said, yeah, so I went to tech, dropped out after a year, just didn't find it was helping me. And at this time, I was delving into a bunch of different things. I started like playing around with music for a year or two. Wanted to go further into that, but I just wasn't very good at it. So I decided to home into what I was good at, which was, I guess, creating videos. And then at that time, I found a passion for photography. At this time, I was still severely socially anxious. You know, I was struggling to, I guess, with maintaining conversations with people that I wasn't comfortable with or didn't know. So I decided to get this great idea of using my photography to provide a one-to-one photo shoot service to people I'd never met before. I met these people through social media, made the connections online first, as I was confident doing that. But then when it came to speaking to people in person, I would struggle, stuttering, maintaining eye contact, and just I guess that was the biggest struggle I had for a while. So I'd done these one-to-one photo shoots for I'd say about probably my idea for it came at the end of 2019, and I think I was still doing it around 2021. During 2020, I ended up doing a lot of them and built some amazing relationships that I would still, you know, highly value to this date. And yeah, I just started to see this spiral going upwards. You know, I could really see this vision of mine coming to life because at the beginning it was to overcome my anxiety, but then long term wise, it was to create a business out of it. So I guess becoming a professional photographer. That's what I'd done for a while. And through the Prince's Trust, I made a connection with a guy called Thomas Pollock. He ran a film production company. So basically, that kind of led me into the film industry, tad by tad, I guess you would say. Started doing behind the scenes stills, and yeah, I just started taking off that way. I've really found a passion for capturing just lovely images. Started getting more credits to my name. Started doing short films. I think I got on maybe 2 feature films, actually 3 feature films now, and a few web series. So it was all fun and games and it was all good. And I love doing this. And when you're on a film set, there's so many people around you. And for me, there's definitely days, like I'd say even this year, where my anxiety would go through the roof and I would kind of just freeze and struggle to conversate with people. Because obviously I may not know them all to a level where I'm comfortable with having good conversations with them. So I would struggle on that part for sure, but being in this industry really helped me to overcome those anxieties and just really helped me challenge myself to become the person I've always wanted to be. But yeah, you know, the anxiety is one kind of thing where if you take a break from that fear, so for me it's like communicating with, I'd say, groups of people. For me, if I take a break from that for a while, it's obviously going to get more intense when I come back to it in a few months' time, say. So that's what happened, I'd say, at the beginning of this year. I went onto a film set, hadn't really been around a big crowd of people in a while, and yeah, I just got quite anxious. But the thing is not to let that overrun you, so don't step away from it, just step deeper into it, and you'll see immense results within the next few weeks of you putting yourself into those uncomfortable positions. But then getting back on the point, after all this, you know, getting into the film industry and everything, I realized I was really intrigued with creating videos, as I had done a lot of it in the past with YouTube and my own YouTube channel. Um, yeah, I decided social media is something that I wanted to target. So I wanted to get, I guess, create short form videos for people to elevate their online social media presence. And that's what I've been doing for the past, I'd say 2 to 3 years. I've been running my business now, I'd say, since the end of 2019, and it's went from a transition of photography based to videography based. And now I kind of just do a little mix of both, but I'm definitely more focused on the video side of things. And yeah, I just wanted to share my story of how I got into it. And as I said at the start, obviously I was quite lucky. Well, not lucky, I'd say blessed to be able to find my passion so early on. But the thing is, like, it was never easy getting into this. You know, this was, as I said at the beginning, this is my 14th year of posting content online. So it hasn't been a process that just happened overnight. It's been a process that took me pretty much 14 years of understanding algorithms and understanding what content it is I want to put out to people and how I want to portray myself, I guess, because this is my first video I'm posting on the YouTube channel in years. You know, I don't really share my face that often, and I'm getting put in that uncomfortable position to start doing that more. So yeah, I guess the biggest thing for me, if you're feeling lost right now, just know that life is a beautiful process. We have to go through the ups and downs to truly, you know, appreciate the emotions we're feeling and what challenges life gives us. I like to look at life as a heart monitor, so basically the frequencies on it more or less kind of resembles your emotions or challenges you're facing in life. You know, it can go up, you know, that can be a high, and it can go down, and that can be a low. But the thing is, with a heartbeat monitor, you always want to see it fluctuating, because if it's just going to be a straight line, it's going to be a flat line, and you're not going to be able to experience life for what it is. So think of it this way: you want to experience the lows to experience the highs, and you want that flow to just keep going so that you can truly appreciate what life gives us. And yeah, so I guess this has been my story, kind of sharing about how you can get through the struggles in life and really just kind of dive deep into what it is that you want to do. And just know, if you're young right now, or you know, you're a parent and you have young children who are around the ages of, let's say, 15 to 17, maybe 18, even older, and they still don't know what they want to do, that's okay. Like, that's the biggest thing I want to get my point across, is that that's okay. It's okay for people to feel lost at a young age. Even if you're older, it's still fine to feel lost. You know, I truly believe that if everyone keeps just experiencing life for what it is and trying new things, you'll find something that clicks and resonates with you. Keep going, keep thriving, and just keep killing it at what you're doing right now, because to some people it may not look like it's a lot, but I know to you, what you're doing right now is special, and you will make a big change within your lifetime. So yes, just be open-minded to the possibilities of trying new things, and trust me, things will most definitely change for the better. But yes, I hope everyone has a splendid weekend, a splendid week, or a splendid day, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Much love.